The topic today is how a well-designed smart PDU can help add value to your data center. So let me start with a quick couple of slides overview on the company before we get into the main topic today. We are part of nVent, which is a globally listed company in the US with over $3 billion in turnover. And Enlogic is part of what we are now called as the data solutions group of nVent. And this includes, as you will see on my screen, multiple products that basically go into the data center white space area. And these includes products like the enclosures, racks, of course, the power distribution units, which we'll be talking about today, leak detection and sensing equipment, liquid cooling, cable management, and server slides. So as you can see, majority of these products go into the data center white space, and we are in a position to offer a total solution under the nVent umbrella. Just a quick slide on cooling, because I know that's one of the major talking points in the world today of the data center space. There's obviously a lot of interest in this segment, and I'm happy to say that nVent has a lot of options which we can offer to our customers, whether it's rear door coolers or cooling distribution units or even in-rack cooling solutions. All of this, as you know, today in the world, there's a lot of data centers are known as one of the heaviest power consumers in the world. And obviously, there's a lot of heat which is generated, and these cooling technologies offer a very good solution to your data center space. Right. So from the next slide onwards, we will talk about, like I said, the main topic, which is the power distribution unit. I've heard this comment several times. A power distribution unit, a PDU strip, at the end of the day, its main function is to distribute power to your equipment inside the rack. But today, the PDU is expected to do much more than that, and that's where Enlogic and our products bring a lot of value to your customers. So as you can see on the screen, this is what you would call a typical intelligent power distribution unit. When I say intelligent, I mean it can not only monitor the power parameters, but also do remote switching on off of the outlets, and that's and also provide the information via a data interface to your system, to your management system. So if you look at a typical PDU, one of the main things, like I said, already mentioned in the last slide, was that the power consumption and the heat generated in today's data center environment is very high, and the Enlogic PDUs are designed to withstand a very high temperature. So that's one of the strong points of our solution. The other thing, all these features, I would like to think that the PDUs, especially the Enlogic PDUs, are designed keeping the user in mind, and color-coded outlets help you to identify which server is connected to which outlet very easily. And this is very helpful when, believe me, they have a lot of wires in a server rack. And these simple color coding helps you to identify this very easily. Then, as you know, in most data centers, you have redundant power sources. You have a source A and a source B. And what typically people are used to doing with the PDU is to have the entire PDU chassis in a particular color. What Enlogic have tried to do is minimize the need for such customization and different types of PDUs with the help of a simple feature of a border around the display or of the network management controller of the PDU. And this is programmable, and it will help you identify which PDU is connected to which source. Say, for example, source A is red and source B is blue. Then the PDU, we can configure the border of the network management controller to display this color. And so when you are doing your data center walks, etc., it's very easy for you to identify which PDU is connected to which source. And this is also helpful when it comes to your maintenance activity that you may want to carry out in a data center space. The other advantage of having these color coding outlets is from your facilities or your procurement point of view, where there is no need for multiple PDU part numbers. There's no need for additional cost. Obviously, I think all manufacturers will have some additional cost if you want a chassis in a particular color, and also obviously the lead times. So this helps in a multiple ways, not just on the field, but also in terms of the actual procurement of these PDUs. The other important feature that Enlogic has incorporated into our PDUs is that we are in a position to offer maximum outlets, keeping the space utilization in mind. And this is an example here that we can offer up to 42 outlets in a 42U chassis for the PDU. When it comes to billing information for your data center, if you are billing your customers, then this feature, which I'm showing right now on the screen, is very important. And we can offer you plus or minus 1% accuracy on the metering side of the power parameters of the PDU. This feature I will talk in more detail as we go into the next slide, but suffice to say that the network management controller, which is the heart of the PDU or which offers the intelligence, is hot swappable, which means that you do not need to power off the PDU or your servers when you need to replace the NMC. This is obviously, we don't expect the NMC to be failing very regularly, but it's a proven fact that if there is any point of failure in a PDU, it's usually the NMC because of the electronics involved in it. And this means that because it is hot swappable, you have no reason to shut down your PDU or have any downtime of your data center. And finally, an important feature which is now offered on the Enlogic PDUs is the what we call as the combination outlets. Again, as you know, the data center requirements keep changing, and flexibility on the field is a very important parameter. And that's where these 2-in-1 and 4-in-1 outlets offer a lot of flexibility to you while choosing and designing your PDUs. So this is one slide which I like to show early on just to encapsulate some of the key user-friendly features that the Enlogic PDU brings to the table. We will talk in a little bit more detail of some of the other features that I think will add a lot of value to your data center. As I mentioned in the last slide, the NMC network management controller is what we call as the intelligence or the heart of the PDU. It's got a nice big bright display. I already explained to you about the option of the color-coded borders. There are push buttons on the PDU, on the NMC itself, which allows you to toggle between different display features. As you can see, there are 2 Ethernet ports that are built in onto the PDU. This feature I will again show you in a couple of slides as to where it plays a very important role. The NMC itself does not require any special tools to pull in or pull out. It's a toolless installation. There are dual sensor ports on the PDU, which allows you to connect all your environmental accessories, etc. And all your critical alarms, etc., are displayed on the NMC display itself. So, believe me when I say that these kind of features are very important when you are doing your daily walks in the data center. I know most of the time the PDUs will communicate with the building management system, but visually when you walk, then these alarms especially are very easily visible. And that's something that we have brought to the table with the PDUs. The other important aspect of any PDU is its compatibility or interface. the Enlogic PDUs work on what we call as an open system. You do not need any particular software, etc., to communicate with the PDU. We provide your standard communication protocols, SNMP, HTTPS, and also the new APIs like JSON, Redfish, etc. Which means that the Enlogic PDUs are very compatible with any existing system that you may have, and this is a very important feature that I think will again help you to choose a total solution from your end. Going forward, I briefly explained to you the two Ethernet ports which are available on the PDU itself. This has two functions. You can cascade daisy chain up to a maximum of 64 PDUs. This is an industry best specification. As you know, any network manager will tell you that when it comes to assigning IP addresses, it's not very easy. But this allows you to configure up to 64 PDUs in a daisy chain. Not only that, the ability, the fact that we have two Ethernet ports on the PDU itself gives you the ability to connect a redundant network on the other port. And this is a very important feature and differentiates the Enlogic PDU from what you would typically call as a daisy chain configuration. Going further, the other use of having the dual Ethernet ports on your PDU itself is that, as I explained previously, in a typical data center, you have source A and source B, offering you two power sources for each rack. When you have two PDUs connected, when you have two PDUs installed in a rack, because we have the redundant Ethernet port, if you interconnect these two PDUs together, if you lose source A or source B, you can still communicate to the NMC of that failed source PDU, which means that though you have lost power on that PDU, you can still communicate to the network management controller as it's connected through the redundant Ethernet port. This means that you will be able to get all the alarms, and not only that, all your sensors, door handles, etc. will continue to function, and you can communicate and take the information out of the PDU. I briefly spoke about the two sensor ports. The Enlogic PDUs allow you to connect up to 10 sensor points per PDU. This means all your typical environmental monitoring items like your door handles or your temperature and humidity sensors, etc., can be connected directly onto the Enlogic PDU. This is as per the industry standard, and it's something that you will find in most of the PDU manufacturers. The two new features, which again I briefly spoke about in my earlier slide, is that the Enlogic PDUs now offer you the combo outlets. We have 2-in-1 C13, C15 compatible and 4-in-1 C13, C19, C15 and C21 compatible outlets. This is a very useful feature because usually when you configure your data center, sometimes you are not sure yet as to the type of outlets that you will require or the number of outlets. And having this flexibility is a very important feature for you when you're designing your data centers. Not only that, with the advent of AI and high-end computing, we are seeing a lot of demand now for high-amp PDUs. And Enlogic has recently launched 100-amp PDUs, both in vertical and horizontal configurations. So this also will help you in supporting your liquid cooling and AI applications. In terms of accessories, Enlogic is also offering what we call as an electronic handle, an e-handle. This is designed to fit into any standard rack cutout, And it comes with similar features like the PDU. It has an inbuilt humidity sensor and the ability to connect an external sensor as well. And the same border configurations are available on the e-handle as well. This is available in two flavors, RFID only and RFID and user pin configurable e-handles. So as you would have seen, these are some of the unique features of the Enlogic PDUs. We have over 100 standard models which are available across various configurations and ampere ratings and outlet configurations. Your typical PDU varieties are available, including input metered, metered and switched, and metered per outlet PDUs. One of the other things that Enlogic is able to do is, because we are an actual manufacturer and specialize in the manufacturing of PDUs, besides our standard PDUs, we are able to offer a lot of what we call as configure to order options, where you may have particular colors of chassis or PDU power cord lengths, etc. And these are also something that we can do. And because we pride ourselves on our technical ability, if you bring any specific requirement which is outside of what we would call as our build to order or configure to order PDUs, our engineering team will be happy to discuss with you to better understand your requirement and design an actual PDU to meet your specific requirement. Finally, I just want to talk about the infrastructure that Enlogic and nVent provide in terms of our PDU manufacturing capabilities. Currently, we have 3 manufacturing plants for the PDUs, one in Wuxi in China, in Bangalore in India, and in our head office in Tucson, Arizona. As you can see from the capacities on the screen, we are one of the biggest manufacturers of PDUs. And because of the fact that we are geographically diversified, we are in a position to meet your requirements in terms of lead time and availability across the globe. Finally, to recap why, as I mentioned earlier, PDUs are a pretty common item in today's data center environment. And why should you go for Enlogic as compared to any other manufacturer? One is, as I mentioned, our flexibility. We have the ability to manufacture large or small quantities of PDUs. We are well diversified in terms of manufacturing capability. We have a very wide product range, and we are now part of a very big group, which allows us the ability to respond to your needs as and when required seamlessly. Thank you very much. I hope the session was a productive one. Thank you.